Whispers inside the British royal family grew louder when a royal family controversy resurfaced, linking Meghan Markle and Prince Harry to a new wave of royal family drama. What began as rumor now threatens to reopen Meg's terror wounds across Buckingham Palace and global media scrutiny. The story begins not with a statement, but with silence. In recent weeks, conversations surrounding Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have once again dominated headlines, reigniting debates that many believed had cooled after Megxit. For observers of the British royal family, the sudden intensity felt familiar, as if unresolved tensions were being pulled back into the light. What makes this moment different is how rapidly speculation has evolved into a broader royal family controversy, stretching far beyond tabloid chatter. Since their departure, Harry and Meghan have defined a public identity shaped by independence and resistance to royal constraints. Life after royal exit was supposed to represent closure, yet the past continues to intrude. Within the walls of Buckingham Palace, insiders reportedly describe a renewed sense of caution, especially as the narrative surrounding the Duke and Duchess of Sussex grows increasingly complex. Every appearance, absence, or carefully chosen silence now carries meaning. At the center of this renewed royal family drama stands Prince William and Kate Middleton, who have remained visibly committed to stability and tradition. Their public restraint contrasts sharply with the media-driven intensity surrounding Meghan and Harry. This contrast has fueled ongoing royal feud narratives, framing the situation as a clash between continuity and disruption. While no official declarations have been made, the tone surrounding senior royals has noticeably hardened. King Charles III still navigates his role as monarch amid changing public expectations, is portrayed as balancing diplomacy with authority. Sources close to royal commentary suggest he is keenly aware of how past events, including Megxit, reshaped public trust. The monarchy's challenge now lies in preserving institutional dignity while confronting a royal scandal narrative that refuses to fade. The stakes are not merely personal. They are symbolic, touching the future credibility of the crown itself. Public perception of Meghan Markle has also evolved. From her early introduction into royal life to high-profile moments like the Meghan Markle interview, she has remained a polarizing figure. Supporters view her as outspoken and resilient, while critics question her motivations. This division has only intensified with projects such as Harry and Meghan Netflix, which offered personal storytelling that blurred the line between confession and confrontation. For many viewers, it reframed the monarchy not as myth, but as a contested space of power and emotion. Prince Harry's memoir, Prince Harry Spare, further complicated the narrative. Its revelations deepened public curiosity while simultaneously reinforcing the sense of an ongoing royal family controversy. The book transformed private grievances into global discussion points, making reconciliation appear increasingly distant. As commentary spread, so did the impression that the rift was no longer just familial, but cultural. Behind the scenes, royal watchers speculate that the core issue is control of narrative. Meghan and Harry have chosen to tell their story on their own terms, while Buckingham Palace continues to rely on tradition and discretion. This clash of approaches sustains a royal family drama, keeping audiences engaged and divided. Each new development feels less like a resolution and more like another chapter. As part one closes, the question remains unresolved. Is this moment a temporary flare-up or the beginning of a deeper reckoning for the British royal family? With tensions unresolved and silence speaking louder than statements, the stage is set for consequences that may redefine the legacy of Harry and Meghan forever. As the tension deepened, attention shifted from past decisions to present consequences. For many observers, the fallout from Megxit was never fully resolved, only paused. Now, that pause appears to be ending. The British royal family finds itself once again navigating a delicate balance between public duty and private fracture, with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry remaining central to the unfolding royal family controversy. What complicates the situation is how firmly the narrative has escaped traditional royal control. In earlier eras, Buckingham Palace could rely on silence and protocol to contain a royal scandal. Today, that strategy feels increasingly ineffective. The digital age has allowed Harry and Meghan to maintain direct access to global audiences, reshaping how royal family drama is consumed and interpreted. Every documentary clip, interview excerpt, or strategic absence becomes part of a larger story that no single institution fully commands. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex continue to frame their journey as one of survival and self-definition. Life after royal exit was meant to offer autonomy, yet it has brought new pressures. Without the protective distance of royal protocol, Meghan and Harry now face scrutiny that is constant and unfiltered. Critics argue that by continuing to engage publicly, they prolong the royal feud, while supporters insist they are simply defending their truth against a system unwilling to evolve. Inside royal circles, the focus has reportedly shifted toward long-term containment rather than reconciliation. Prince William is widely perceived as prioritizing the future stability of the monarchy, viewing ongoing conflict as a threat to public confidence. His approach, mirrored by Kate Middleton, emphasizes composure and continuity. This quiet resolve has positioned them as symbolic anchors amid the storm, reinforcing their role as a steady counterweight to controversy. King Charles III occupies a more complicated position. As monarch, he represents both tradition and transition. The lingering impact of royal family drama challenges his reign at a time when public trust is already fragile. Analysts suggest that each unresolved issue involving Meghan and Harry weakens the monarchy's ability to project unity. The crown's authority depends not only on ceremony, but on the perception that internal divisions are under control. Media coverage continues to intensify these pressures. Discussions surrounding the Meghan Markle interview and Harry and Meghan Netflix content remain active, often resurfacing during unrelated royal events. This cyclical attention ensures that the royal family controversy never truly fades. Even Prince Harry's spare continues to influence public opinion, with excerpts frequently cited as evidence of an irreparable rift. What emerges is a narrative shaped less by facts than by perception. The royal scandal is no longer confined to specific allegations. It has become a symbol of institutional strain. Each side appears locked into a pattern where silence is interpreted as guilt and speech as provocation. This dynamic sustains a royal feud, making resolution increasingly elusive as the world watches. The question is no longer whether tensions exist, but how long they can persist without consequence. The British royal family stands at a crossroads, facing a future where old methods of control may no longer apply. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry continue forward, fully aware that every step reinforces their separation from the institution they left behind. Part 2 ends with uncertainty intact. The divide has widened, positions have hardened, and the narrative shows no sign of slowing. What began as a personal departure has evolved into an enduring royal family drama, one that now threatens to define an entire era of monarchy. As scrutiny intensified, the conversation surrounding Meghan Markle and Prince Harry shifted from emotion to consequence. What once played out as royal family drama now carried the weight of lasting institutional impact. For the British royal family, this was no longer about personalities alone, but about authority, loyalty, and the future shape of the monarchy in a post-Megxit world. Public discussion increasingly framed Harry and Meghan as architects of their own parallel monarchy, one built through media, narrative control, and global visibility. Projects like Harry and Meghan Netflix were no longer seen merely as personal storytelling, but as strategic counterweights to Buckingham Palace. Each release reinforced perception that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex were challenging the traditional hierarchy, not through titles, but through influence. This shift unsettled royal observers who believed power within the monarchy should remain symbolic, not performative. Within palace circles, concern reportedly centered on precedent. Prince William is often portrayed as acutely aware that unresolved royal family controversy could weaken the institution his children will inherit. His stance appears increasingly firm, not out of personal resentment, but from a belief that boundaries must exist. Alongside him, Kate Middleton has emerged as a stabilizing force, her public composure interpreted as deliberate contrast to the volatility surrounding Meghan and Harry. Meanwhile, King Charles III faces pressure on multiple fronts. His reign began under the shadow of transition, and ongoing royal scandal narratives complicate efforts to modernize without appearing vulnerable. Analysts note that while Charles favors reconciliation in principle, he must also protect the authority of the crown. Any perception that the monarchy can be publicly challenged without consequence risks eroding its legitimacy. The royal feud narrative has also reshaped public attitudes toward Prince Harry. Once widely regarded as a relatable royal, his image has become more complex since Prince Harry Spare. The memoir's revelations humanize him for some, while convincing others that private grievances were weaponized. This polarization mirrors a broader divide in opinion surrounding Meghan Markle, whose role remains both central and contentious. What fuels the controversy further is the absence of a clear endpoint. Life after royal exit was framed as a fresh start, yet repeated returns to royal subject matter suggest unfinished business. Each new development invites renewed speculation, keeping the royal family drama alive. The public is left questioning whether this is a conscious strategy or an unavoidable consequence of unresolved conflict. Media narratives continue to amplify the divide. References to the Meghan Markle interview resurface whenever tensions flare, reinforcing the idea that the rift is ideological rather than personal. The monarchy, rooted in discretion, now contends with adversaries who thrive on visibility. This fundamental mismatch sustains the royal family controversy, ensuring that even silence becomes a statement. As Part 3 unfolds, the emotional stakes rise. The conflict is no longer about departure, but about legacy. For Buckingham Palace, the challenge is preserving unity without surrendering authority. For Meghan and Harry, it is defining independence without being consumed by the institution they rejected. The result is a stalemate that serves no one yet captivates millions. With neither side willing to retreat, the royal scandal continues to evolve, reshaping public understanding of monarchy itself. The question that lingers is not who is right or wrong, but how much longer the British royal family can endure a fracture that shows no sign of healing. By this stage, the royal family drama had moved beyond reaction and into recalibration. For the British royal family, the prolonged fallout from Meg's forced and uncomfortable reality. The old playbook no longer guaranteed control. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were no longer peripheral figures commenting from the sidelines. They had become enduring reference points through which modern audiences judge the monarchy itself. Within Buckingham Palace, the atmosphere was reportedly one of strategic restraint. Public statements were minimal, appearances carefully choreographed. This silence, however, did not signal weakness. Instead, it reflected a shift toward long-term preservation rather than short-term rebuttal. Prince William was increasingly portrayed as the architect of this approach, believing that the monarchy's strength lies in patience, not public sparring. Alongside him, Kate Middleton embodied continuity, her steady presence reinforcing the image of duty over distraction. Yet the absence of overt response allowed alternative narratives to flourish. Royal family controversy content continued to circulate globally, fueled by lingering interest in Harry and Meghan Netflix projects and renewed discussions around Prince Harry Spare. Each reference pulled the audience back into the unresolved tension, reinforcing the sense that the royal feud was no longer episodic, but structural. The monarchy was not simply facing criticism. It was confronting a competing version of its own story. King Charles III found himself balancing symbolism with pragmatism. As monarch, He represents unity, yet unity felt increasingly theoretical. The royal scandal narrative challenged his ability to present the crown as above personal conflict. Observers noted that his reign, still early in perception, risked being defined not by reform or stability, but by an inability to close a chapter left open by Megxit. The weight of history loomed large, reminding all involved that unresolved family fractures had destabilized monarchies before. Public opinion grew more polarized. Supporters of Meghan Markle framed her actions as resistance against an outdated institution, often citing the Meghan Markle interview as a turning point in public awareness. Critics, however, argued that repeated disclosures undermined the dignity of the monarchy and prolonged royal family drama unnecessarily. Prince Harry, positioned between these perspectives, became a symbol of internal conflict, torn between loyalty to family and allegiance to a new life built outside royal boundaries. Life after royal exit now appeared less like liberation and more like a parallel existence permanently tethered to the institution left behind. Harry and Meghan's independence came with an inescapable paradox. The more they distanced themselves, the more their identity remained defined by royal association. This paradox sustained the royal family controversy, ensuring that every move, project, or silence was interpreted through the lens of past grievances. Meanwhile, speculation intensified around future consequences. Could reconciliation still occur, or had the divide hardened beyond repair? Insiders suggested that trust, once fractured so publicly, was nearly impossible to restore. The royal feud had evolved into a cautionary tale about modern monarchy, colliding with individual narrative control. Tradition demanded restraint. Modern media rewarded exposure. As Part 4 closes, the sense of inevitability grows. The British royal family continues forward, projecting continuity while absorbing criticism. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry advance their independent path, aware that separation has not granted escape from scrutiny. The conflict now exists in a permanent state of tension, neither escalating explosively nor resolving quietly. What remains is a monarchy tested not by revolution, but by reflection. The royal family drama has become a mirror, forcing the institution and the public alike to confront uncomfortable questions about power, relevance, and the cost of silence in an age that demands answers. By the final stage of this unfolding saga, the royal family drama had reached a point where reversal felt impossible. What once appeared as a personal rupture following Megxit had hardened into a defining chapter of modern monarchy. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were no longer viewed simply as former working royals living life after royal exit, but as permanent variables reshaping how the British royal family is understood in the public eye. The most striking shift was not in action, but in tone. Buckingham Palace maintained composure, yet the distance between silence and resolution grew wider. Prince William's posture reflected institutional defense rather than reconciliation, signaling that the future of the monarchy would not be negotiated through media narratives. Kate Middleton's role became even more symbolic, representing stability, maternal authority, and continuity in contrast to ongoing royal family controversy. Her presence suggested that the crown was preparing not to argue, but to endure. King Charles III, meanwhile, faced a reality that his reign would be judged by how effectively he managed inherited fractures. The royal scandal narrative surrounding Harry and Meghan tested his leadership at a time when public confidence in traditional institutions was already fragile. Every unresolved tension risked reinforcing perception that the monarchy was struggling to adapt. The crown's challenge was no longer about discipline or diplomacy alone, but about relevance in an era shaped by transparency and constant scrutiny. On the other side of the divide, Meghan and Harry appeared increasingly isolated from the institution they once represented. Their decision to tell their story through platforms like Harry and Meghan Netflix and Prince Harry Spare had granted them voice, but at a cost. The more details emerged, the more difficult reconciliation became. What was once framed as healing began to resemble permanence, locking both sides into narratives that left little room for retreat. Public discourse now treated the royal feud as an established reality rather than an evolving dispute. Debates shifted from who was right to what the long-term consequences might be. Could the monarchy maintain unity while allowing dissent to exist publicly? Or had the conflict exposed vulnerabilities that could not be concealed again? These questions extended far beyond Meghan Markle interview headlines, touching the future credibility of the institution itself. The idea of life after royal exit also took on a darker tone. Independence did not erase royal identity. It intensified it. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry remained defined by what they left behind, while the British royal family remained shaped by those who walked away. This mutual dependency sustained the royal family drama, ensuring that neither side could fully move forward without acknowledging the other. As the narrative settled, one conclusion became unavoidable. This was no longer a temporary royal scandal destined to fade with time. It had evolved into a structural divide, reflecting deeper tensions between tradition and individual agency. The monarchy survived, but changed. Harry and Meghan moved on, but remained tethered to the crown they rejected. The story ends not with resolution, but with permanence. A modern monarchy marked by fracture, a family divided across continents, and a public left to interpret silence as carefully as words. The chapter may close, but its imprint on royal history is irreversible. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps keep these deep dives into royal family drama coming. So join the conversation and stay tuned for what unfolds next.